No More Boring Learning by Brain Bakery.
Welcome everybody at our first English podcast.
Yes.
No More Boring Learning. And we are super excited because we have a guest whom we are very proud to have her here.
Yes.
It is Caro van Eekelen.
Woohoo!
Oh, wow.
Senior Vice President of Learning and Transformation of Accor. Caro, very welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And, of course, you worked with her for many years. My dear colleague, Jeanne Bakker.
Yes.
Or Jeanne Baker.
Jeanne Baker for today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice to speak to you again, Jeanne. Of course, we're here at social distancing
Yes.
measures.
6 feet between us.
6 feet apart. And for the few people who are listening now and thinking, Accor does ring a bell, but what is it? Accor, of course, is the third biggest hotel chain of the world.
Yep.
And Caro, you're the Senior Vice President of Learning and Transformation. And in this podcast,
Yes.
we're going to discuss about the global transforming journey you and Jeanne designed and delivered within Accor.
Yes, the Heartist Journey will be central to this talk.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
You haven't seen each other.
I haven't seen Caro since the lockdown.
No.
No.
So this is the first time.
Yes, and we
Yes.
can't even hug.
No.
And normally we're pretty good huggers.
Yeah, huggers.
But I see the happiness in both your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, we are happy.
And it's nice to dress up for once again. Yeah.
Yeah.
In this podcast, we're going to discuss the global transformation within Accor. And we're going to answer 3 questions at least.
Yes.
The first of which is, how do you measure your success? Because you can think you're successful, but how do you deliver measurable results?
Yep.
Caro and Jeanne will explain that. The second one is, and I think it's the most beautiful one, maybe our listeners have watched the display of hearts around the world at
On all the
different
hotels.
and other hotels. Some windows were dark and some windows were lit in a heart shaped. And Caro here knows how that started, where it all began. So, of course, we're going to tell you that. And we will close this podcast with some advice for global leaders from Caro about global transformation, of course.
Yep.
So keep on listening, and maybe we have one more treat for you later on in this podcast.
So, Caro, what caused this need for transformation? Because many people that are listening are also in transformations right now. What caused the...
Well, there are a few things. First of all, the world was changing very fast.
Yes.
Especially on a digital way. We had a lot of new digital tools which needed to be deployed. We had different brands thinking about that. So that was too slow.
Yeah. So every brand was reinventing their own wheel.
Exactly.
Right.
So we said the world will be changing in the future.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be faster.
Yes.
So that's why we started thinking on what have those 15 brands at that time, when now we have 30, what do we have in common?
Right. And then I understood that you didn't go for, all right, let some super intelligent people from marketing or some directors think of what do we have in common, but you went to the people themselves.
Exactly.
You went to the people in the hotels, to the room attendants, to the front office people. Why?
We have a lot of people who worked in different brands. So if you ask the question, what do we have in common? The only way to do is to ask them.
Yes,
That
because
what
they
came
know.
Exactly. They know what Accor has in common. So that's why we took those people.
So you went around the world, like
9
5
work
or
sessions.
9 work sessions,
Everywhere in the world. 270 people were involved. And they answered the questions about why are we here, who we are, what we are, how we do things.
Yes.
The optimal guest experience.
Yes.
And for the first time, and I think that is also pretty unique, we also determined straight away the optimal employee experience. Because we were convinced that if you don't have an optimal employee experience, in no way you can deliver this desired guest experience.
Wow. Then you were 4 years ago, you were already doing that. Right now you hear everybody about the employee experience.
Yes.
But you were already combining guest experience and employee experience 4 years ago.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. So those 9 groups around the world with people from hotels started to think, well, who are we?
Yes.
And me as a listener, that means you gave some power to decide something about such a big company. How many people work at Accor?
300,000.
300,000 people, and you gave some power of them to start thinking, who are we and why are we in business?
Exactly. Determine the DNA together.
Wow.
With all brands, all segments were involved.
Wow. Okay.
And the support functions, of course.
And that's, I think, where the Heartist word arose.
Exactly. That is an amazing story, though, because we worked on each question, as I said before. And then on the who we are, this word Heartist, which is a combination of heart and artist, which is exactly what we do. We are artists in the way we deliver service, and we do it with our heart. Came out first in Bangkok and then completely independently, also in Dubai and in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
So that was a really, really strong word.
Yes.
Which reunited us between brands.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you basically tore away the brand thinking. I mean, the brand thinking had to stay, but
it has to stay,
but
because Novotel is not the same as an Ibis experience. So
exactly.
it's very important, but you have also something in common.
Yes.
And that common part we talk about, but the brand specifics remain essential for the service delivery.
Yeah, the guest won't recognize the difference between then you could just have one brand, and you want them to be able to choose.
Yes.
That's what I love about Accor myself. So you had the DNA of the company. You created that bottom up, which is super amazing. Mm-hmm. First, short question: how did you get the top of the company to align with what was thought up?
When this DNA was ready, we went with the copy, the final copy, which was validated by the 9 work groups. Mm-hmm. We presented to marketing, all kind of key stakeholders in the company. And then we had to go up.
Yes.
That was one of the most exciting moments. Because then you have to show all this work. So we had made an appointment with Sébastien Bazin. So we showed it, but there was no expression. And when he heard the word Heartist, there was no expression. And then silence. And this silence lasted in my mind for hours.
Like hours?
Hours and hours. But then he said, this is genius. This is such a good word, which represents all of us.
Yes.
That it's first the heart and then the head. So there was not difficulty anymore after.
No.
Because everybody bought it.
Yes. Yeah, it was so good that it was like undeniable.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love also now, you see, we're in this global pandemic together. Accor is hit really hard.
Very hard.
But you see Sébastien Bazin, whenever he talks, it's always about Heartists, giving them hope, the Heartist Fund, Heartist Actions. I love how he, almost learned from his people to start, incorporating the heart even more, even though he already believed in it. But now he has
the word.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Great. Yes. So does that also reveal something about why on certain hotels in this global pandemic, when they're closed, you see big hearts in their windows?
That's a beautiful, beautiful story, of course. Those people are living Heartists already for a few years now, right? For 2 years or something. They wanted to send this message.
Yes,
that
because
even if the hotel is closed, that we are there with the heart. And so it started in Milan. And then
Milan, for the people around the world who are listening, in Europe, Milano was the first place that was hit
for Europe.
Super hard. So many people dying. And they had to close their hotel. And they said, Monica said, we need to put a heart up to show something to our city. Yeah. And now, if you look, Australia, wherever, even different brands, Marriott I saw also, they have that heart shining towards the people. One day we will open again, and we shine our hearts towards our guests, but also towards people in care. Yeah. Love that.
And then it started from there.
Yes.
Because it was shared in the Super Transformer community. It went on and on and on.
Now, you say the word Super Transformer. Tell me about that, because you had the DNA. And then you made an e-learning and everybody learned it, or you put up some posters and everybody learned. So what did you do?
That was the problem. We had then, or the issue or the challenge, whatever, because it was not really a problem. It was a very exciting challenge. Like, now you have those DNA, now we can print it and hang it everywhere and hope it works. But of course, it was only the start of the journey.
Yes.
So what we said, because it was a transformation, we didn't want to use the standard channels like take trainers and then train the trainer and then let them train the content. Because this is all about mindset and transformation. So you have to take it all a level up.
Absolutely. So how did you go about finding those super transformers that you just mentioned?
We asked who wants to join this transformation and who wants to be part as a kind of leader, a super transformer.
Because that word wasn't in the company, right?
No.
You made it up.
No, yeah.
You just said we're going to transform and we need super transformers.
Yeah, because we have transformers probably in the hotels to help us, but we need also super transformers who are going to spread
the vibe, the word,
the DNA everywhere.
Yeah.
So those people could apply with a movie, with a sponsor, to explain why we should choose them to join the journey.
So let me explain this for our listeners. So what Accor did was, instead of going through normal channels or normal ways of doing it, Accor invited people to say, if you think you're a leader in transformation, if you think you can be a super transformer, send us a movie. You can't cut in the movie. You just send us 2 minutes of you speaking into the camera why you think you're suitable. Share a little bit about that you have produced some results. Share that your people love you. And find somebody in the company who says, yes, I agree, this could be a super transformer.
Yes.
That was so how flooded were you in movies?
We were enormously flooded.
Yes.
But they were of such good quality and there was so much energy in there. And I think that is one of the main success factors, because if you have amazing, motivated people to do this, it's already a strength for your program, for your journey to roll out.
And I think also, looking back at it, there were people, I think there's people who hear the word super transformer and go, what's that? Don't like it. And they go, I'm not joining. So I think also with
this word between you and me was never remained to stay.
No,
because
but it was adopted.
It was just like we look like we wanted something like super transform, but we have to find another word for that in the future.
True.
Yeah.
But then it was like it went viral almost.
Yes.
Yeah, so what I remember of the training sessions is that we wanted to create so much energy that the energy would stay with them for like ages.
Yes.
So we really looked very closely at whatever other trainings they were used to, and we decided to super take a distance from that. Yeah. We didn't, use introduction rounds. We didn't go for the normal standard ways of doing things. We didn't go for the normal timings. We tried to really break with anything that's normal in training.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And that's super powerful. And also what I loved about the program is, or about the journey is, anything that we designed was brand new. That wasn't used somewhere else. It was like specifically, totally designed for Heartists to do, to have a better employee experience and to have a better guest journey.
Yeah, we changed their lives as well. So it was so much experiences and so different way of doing. And they went on a mission. It was not just roll out a program. It was a mission of their life, personal life, but also professional life.
Yes.
And that made it so strong.
Yes. It wasn't about the role you had in the company. It was about being a Heartist in life.
Exactly.
With your children, with your husband, but also in your hotels.
Yeah.
And we also worked a lot on the different people and functions in hotels, because as we probably all know, there's some functions that seem more cool than other functions. And we also worked on how can they collaborate even more and show respect and love for each other even more. So also to be Heartist between teams, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Really work on the whole team spirit.
Yes.
You are not alone.
No.
You are a team. You need the housekeeper, like you need the maintenance guy, like you need the front office to check in people. You need the F&B.
League 1 and League 2.
Exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then the question then becomes, okay, this sounds great. People came on a mission. We are now super transformers. Woohoo! But did it make a difference?
Yes.
Did the transformation happen? How do you measure that? How do you do that internationally with 300,000 people, 92 countries? How did you do that?
Yeah, first of all, you never launch a journey if you don't measure the impact. If it has no impact, then don't do it.
No.
I mean, then you stop.
Yes.
You can also stop things.
Yeah.
So a very important point. We measured a few things. So first of all, guest quality. And then specifically only the staff friendliness, which went up.
Yes.
Because don't forget, we started also with the hotels who felt like, I need this transformation. Yes. So there's all the time people who are buying in, you deliver the journey, and they go away with it. So this impact was major. not only for eco brands or not only in some regions. The staff friendliness went everywhere up significantly.
Wow.
And in fact, what we didn't say is that the journey wasn't just a 2-hour session.
No.
It was a 5-month journey.
Yes.
And in time, you saw the first month a little impact, the second month a little bit more, but at the 5th month, it was exploding.
Yes.
So that's also a great learning to do things over time and not a one shot, because a one shot, it drops.
Yeah, it's gone.
So that was one thing. Then, of course, the employee engagement. A very important point, especially because we linked the employee experience to the guest experience.
Yes.
And there also we saw amazing increases.
Wow.
In hotels who started the journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you saw the impact on both sides.
Yes.
And that was measurable.
Because let's not forget, because we didn't talk about the content of the DNA, but there was up to free up people. And that was allowed. Now we had to take initiative with the guests.
Show them your tattoos. Show them who you are.
Yeah, exactly. So of course, in engagement, that works.
Yes.
I mean, empowerment is so important nowadays to give the people the trust.
Yes.
That they can do where they think they have what they have to do.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. I can see, because for our listeners, if you work in a really, and I think we all know this, if you work in a really standardized surroundings, and you need to do everything according to plan, and you have mystery visits to tick all the boxes, then what happens to your freedom? It's gone. And one of the purposes also of this journey was to free up the people to just be themselves, show themselves, be themselves with guests, and
take initiative, etc.
Awesome. Okay, so measurable results, also good. Then we come to a certain point, and that point is, Caro, are you willing, because that's a habit in our show, to share with us one of your fuck-ups?
Fuck-ups.
I'm sure you don't have any fuck-ups as a senior vice president, but maybe you do.
Oh my God, I have so many personal. But we're not going to talk about that.
No.
Brain Bakery's Fuck Up.
We had those super transformer sessions. They went home.
Yes.
They prepared for their country their sessions for the hotels.
Yes.
And they were so enthusiastic that they shared with us their pictures, what they were doing, etc., etc.
Oh,
and I remember
this.
I remember that we saw flip charts, people working on models which had nothing to do anymore with the Heartist model we invented and asked them to deliver. So you have to find the right balance between freedom and what is the message you have to give, because otherwise it goes everywhere.
Yes.
And what we wanted is the DNA of Accor. So we had to reassure this DNA that the models were respected, etc., etc.
Yes,
so that was very, very funny moment.
Yes.
That you saw those sessions in different countries, and one popped up with a tree, and the other one popped up with another design. So we said, okay, let's take this back.
Yes.
And that was something surprising.
A bit of a fuck up.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah, you liberate people and then they take it wherever they want to go. Yeah. So how to find that balance? I get that. Yeah. Absolutely. So there's been a global journey for 300,000 people called the Heartist Journey. Basically, it's still going on, even though we're now in a lockdown and people are having a tough time. You see lots of initiatives around Heartists and helping the Heartists. I've even been challenged now to do 10 push-ups to donate to the Heartist Fund. So it's super, super good. But I think for our listeners, it's also great to hear from you. What advice would you give somebody who's in HR or in talent and culture or in the people team or in learning and development, if they want to start causing transformation? What would be one of your advices?
I think do it bottom up.
Yes.
So find a very strong why. That for us was key as well. That if we would continue like this, we would perhaps not exist anymore tomorrow.
Yes.
So if we wouldn't change, so you need to create a burning platform.
Yes. So step one, find your why and your burning platform. What's the reason for the change?
Exactly.
That's
but
tip
then
number
let
one.
people talk in the field who have the guest in front.
Or the client or however they're called in your branch. Yeah.
And let them talk on how to do that.
They know. So basically trust the people who are actually doing the work and get them involved in creating the transformation.
And go for the positive energy.
Yes.
Only go for the people who feel like this is needed and who want to do it.
Yes. Yes, I remember that very strongly because we had many questions. We were in Sao Paulo, we were somewhere, and people said, okay, so we're going to do this hotel first and then this hotel. And you always said, no, let the hotels that want to go first, that feel attracted to this, that feel like this could be something for us, let them go first, let them get the ball rolling, and then other people will follow.
Yeah.
And we'll look at the people who don't follow. We'll look at them later, but first start with people who are eager.
And that's exactly what we did with the regions as well. Eh? Some countries wanted to earlier than others.
Yes.
So,
yeah. So those are 3 super good tips. Find your burning platform. Work with the people. Let them say how the transformation should look. Let them decide on the employee experience, on the guest experience or the customer experience. And the third one, have people go first who want to go first. Don't, put them all in a mold. Don't tell them everybody has to go. You're obliged. Go for the people that want to go first.
Go with the energy.
Yes. Go with the energy. Love it. So, Caro, you being secluded and in social isolation almost here in the Netherlands, what do you want to say to all Heartists or super transformers that are listening to this podcast now, that are longing to be Heartist with our guests and with each other again and maybe stuck at home? What would you like to say to them?
I would like to say to all of those who are looking forward to only one thing, is coming back. We will come back. I'm sure we will come back and even stronger. And we have shown, I see that also with the whole Heartist Fund, and I see it with all the initiatives hotels are taking to even now in their difficult situation also help others.
Yes.
That we got it all right with Heartist.
Yes.
And we can be very proud of all those people, what they did, what they are doing, and what they will do in the future.
Yeah, big shout out to all super transformers and Heartists.
Well. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
And so we're at the end of this episode of No More Boring Learning. Caro, thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you. It was great to be here.
Jeanne, thank you.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And for all our listeners, stay safe.
No More Boring Learning by Brain Bakery.